you figured out you need to have control. You think that I don't know you, I know. Trying to tell you now, I've been doing what you want, but I won't be your yes girl, no not anymore. Just let me go, just let me go, just let me go, let me go. Won't be your yes girl, no not anymore. Just let me go, just
wish that you did. This throne is a lonely place when all I've got is you in my head. I'm falling. I know that my heart is feeling full again. Never felt so alive. Tell you that you're the reason why. Brought me back to life. I didn't know my heart was sleeping, but now all I want is you to take me and shake me and wake me up. Yeah, wake me up. I know that my heart is feeling full again. Never felt so alive. Tell you that you're the reason why. Brought me back to life. I've been sleeping. I've been sleeping. I've been sleeping. Take me and shake me and wake me up. I know that my heart is feeling full again. Never felt so alive. And I know that you're the reason why. I know that my heart is feeling full again. Never felt so alive. And I know that you're the reason why. Brought me back to life. Let's go now, it's open season. Going through these life changes, gotta keep my feet moving. I'm looking up at the sky. Gonna keep my eyes open, gonna keep my mind racing. I'll keep on trying to fly. We almost died, learning how to survive the fast life. You know they say that nothing lasts forever. You know they said we'd never stay together. It's a long way down, can't turn back now. Go through these life changes, go through these life changes. Let's go! Yeah, we always try to stand up to the lies. We said we'd never give up till we die. And try to help our friends. We learn to live again. We'll never say it's over till the end. We almost died, learning how to survive the fast life. You know they say that nothing lasts forever. You know they said we'd never stay together. It's a long way down, can't turn back now. Go through these life changes, go through these life changes. Don't you know that life changes? You know that love changes. The pain it rearranges. Best friends become strangers. Don't you know that life changes? You know that love changes. The pain it rearranges. Best friends become strangers. So you get up, you shake it off, smile at everyone you meet. Put your best foot forward, chip on your shoulder. It's like you can't be beat. It's like we can't be beat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Going through these life changes, going through these life changes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Going through these life changes, going through these life changes. You know they say that nothing lasts forever. That's what they say. You know they said we'd never stay together. It's a long way down, can't turn back now. Go through these life changes, go through these life changes. Go through these life changes, go through these life changes. don't care.
As I'm with you, that's all I wanna do. Get it together and whatever becomes, we gon' see it through. Please, baby, please. You got more than you need, so don't be so greedy, baby. Give it to me. No guarantee. Pay for your fantasy. Don't be so greedy, greedy. Give it to me. Yeah, I got you. Weak in the knees. You're hooked, baby, shaking like a junkie for me. Please, baby, please. You got more than you need, so don't be so greedy, baby. Give it to me. No guarantee. Pay for your fantasy. Don't be so greedy, greedy. Give it to me. If you don't know about getting love, you should try it. Give me what you got, baby, give it up. Don't deny it. Please, baby, please. You got more than you need, so don't be so greedy, baby. Give it to me. No guarantee. Pay for your fantasy. Don't be so greedy, greedy. Give it to me. Don't be so greedy, baby. Give it to me. Don't be so greedy, greedy. Just give it to me. These days I know I've been gone, caught up in the gravity. Airplanes and living too fast, I let it get the best of me. I hope it's never too late to take up your time. 'Cause these days I'm running on fumes, missing every memory. All those nights you were on my mind. I can't forget you, I can't forget you. Don't let go, 'cause I'm coming home. I can't forget you, I can't forget that you held me down from the day that it started. Held me down when the night was the darkest. So thank you for waiting when it took me so long. I can't forget you, I can't forget. Daydream the passenger seat, riding on the 101. Shot-town is never too far, closer than the setting sun. I hope it's never too late to take up your time. Do you remember that moment? 'Cause I remember that moment. All those nights you were on my mind. I can't forget you, I can't forget you. Don't let go, 'cause I'm coming home. I can't forget you, I can't. held me down from the day that it started. Held me down when the night was the darkest. So thank you for waiting when it took me so long. I can't forget you. I can't forget. We're not tied to the train tracks. Before we go, you should know that I'm alright if you ride.
Her and him had always been, but these days you only ever want to hang with bad friends. Alone again, she'd wait for him to come home. She packed up all her clothes and she was gone, gone, gone. Gone, gone, gone. Gone, gone, gone. Gone away. Things could have been much better. Things could have been much better than before. Things could have been much brighter. More than you know. You lost yourself.
Finally blew up in my face, crushed and burned to pieces. You got what you want from me, I gave you what you needed. I was warned, fooled by charm, and you deserve to be alone. And I deserve better. Better than you. I deserve better. Tell them what they already know. I deserve better. They already know I deserve better. I used to cry to all my friends, but they would say I told ya. Finally I can breathe again. The weight is off my shoulders. I was warned, a fool, a charm, and you deserve to be alone. And I deserve better, oh, better than you. I deserve better, better than you. I deserve better. Tell them what they already know. I deserve better. Tell them what they already know. I deserve better.
Let's talk about the word deserve. I talk about what the world deserves. A queen, you queen. Let's talk about that four-letter word.
Welcome to a GSL. Living life that easy. Yeah, we want some piece of the action.
We're back. Tastes and Artosis here on day number 2 of the GSL Code A. How's it going, man?
Fantastically. Here we are. The season it's going. We have SSL starting up tomorrow, I believe. Pro League maybe even as early as this weekend.
That's right.
I mean, this
we
is
still got our wobbly table.
What a great time to be alive,
stresses me
Tasteless.
out working here. But yeah, it's good to be back. We had a fantastic day for day 1 here on the GSL Code A, and I'm excited here to start up day number 2 as we get closer and closer to filling up the rest of those Code S spots.
Yeah. By the way, Tasteless is standing on a box. All of you know that I'm taller than him, right?
No, that's not true. Actually, Artosis is so short that I'm on knee pads right now. You can't see this.
Yeah.
Artosis he's got a really long torso, and then he's got legs that are like this long.
You know that apparatus that they use to make you look like you're flying in a play where you have like a
the hooks
framed
on my
shirt?
back? Yeah.
Like that's what I'm on right now. I'm actually just hanging from the ceiling.
We got our new setup here.
Yeah.
We are standing out in the audience. We have a standing casting desk. We requested the standing desk. We feel like we bring more energy.
Now, some people were
project-
asking me, they were saying, Artosis, isn't it true StarCraft's a dead game and they had to sell your chairs and that's why you're standing?
That's right.
Yeah,
These are
you guys got
actually,
us.
You got us, guys. No, but seriously, I'm very excited to have this new setup here and try this out. Day one was fun. Took a little bit to get used to, but yeah.
That tie, you like fix your tie and it goes to the other side of your buttons.
I can never get it to stay on the right side, no matter where it is.
No, I know.
I'm not good at ties.
There's
We need
a
a clip.
funny graphic
We
out
need
there from Merc showing that
yeah.
even 100-year-old Tastes will never have that
It's
tie
like
down
the
the
year is
center.
2095, and like Taysom still can't tie a tie.
It's something
right?
like there's a north magnet under here and there's a north magnet in the center of your chest or something, like your Iron Man. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm really excited for today. There's 3 really good matches coming up. I'm
That's right.
especially excited about the third match, Sue versus Hyun. I think that's going to be our best match tonight.
Yeah, I think we're going to end on a pretty strong note here. So as you can see, the results for the GSL Code A Day round of 1, it was Impact, Yull, and True are survivors. Going into
That's
the rest of the days here. That's
Friday
not-
and Wednesday
Friday
next
and
week. We
Wednesday.
are just rocking right through there.
We are
But
tearing through these graphics.
look at that, Stork versus Ragnarok. That is one of the most hyped matchups that we have.
Oh, absolutely.
And
And we're going to see all these matches here
Yeah.
before we come back to us. So you guys get an idea of what the lineup for Code A is going to be like.
Look at that one, Taste. Stark versus Innovation.
Wow, that's actually kind of sad. We have to have those two fight
Yeah.
so early. Exciting, but of
And
course,
it's a
one
team
will be
kill.
eliminated.
Yeah, it's really sad in every way. But
In fact, it's horrible.
yeah.
It's terrible.
But you know what? It's like GSL finals quality, and we had one of those last time too, Mario
Yeah.
versus Cest. But think about this, like, let's say Innovation falls. No BlizzCon! See you later,
Hey,
alligator.
that's true.
Dark's already qualified, so just throwing that out there.
It's getting pretty cutthroat out here.
Mm-hmm.
Not as many moments to compete for some of these pro gamers for those WCS points. So every match really does count.
Yeah, it really, really does. You got to make it this season, guys. Just so many good matches here in Code A, and of course we have a bunch of players that are already qualified for Code S, awaiting the winners
Yeah.
of this.
Tosis is good to be back with you, man.
Yeah.
How long
it's
has it
really
been? What, 4 days?
Something like that.
Too long.
However long it is between Friday and Wednesday.
Well, nobody.
Only a math
Nobody
magician
would
could
dare
tell
do
you
math
that.
on TV. Oh my goodness. Today, very exciting games. Leanock against Stats, Speed against Trust, and to end it all, I think our best match of the night, Sue against Hyun. I think a lot of people who regularly watch Korean leagues might assume that Sue will win this easily, and he might anyways. But Hyun has been a very dominant force historically, especially in a lot of these marathon events.
Hyun was fantastic. I mean, even as a StarCraft 1 pro, this guy got Pro League matches, made it into individual leagues, came to StarCraft 2, GSL finalist, okay? Like, traveled around the world, has played very well there, and now he's back on a Kespa team. So that's why I'm really excited to see, because he's done the Kespa rigmarole before. This is not like, I don't think he needs a big adjustment period to get in there and get his skills at an insane level. So I think that is a great match. I can't wait for match 3 tonight.
Of course, we have our Baller Studio down here at the GSL. This is still pretty new, still pretty fresh. We have the pro gamers not in booths. The headsets are completely soundproof. We haven't had any issues with that so far. So I'm assuming we probably won't have any coming up here.
Unless we get a pro gamer that's got a third ear or something.
That's right. A mutant pro. I think we got a couple more years before that's going to be an issue, man.
Hopefully.
Until cell phone usage really does affect us. We'll have to see. So here we get a closer shot of Leanock. Now, Leanock, this guy is a fantastic player. He's been around since the very early days of StarCraft 2. A big fan favorite. He dominated in Korea and in overseas events.
Yeah, Leanock's really, really strong, but this guy is the talk of the town, Tasteless.
Yeah. It's interesting. Stats started out as, I guess you could say, your run-of-the-mill average pro gamer, and he has slowly climbed his way to the top. Truly one of the best Protosses of all time nowadays, and I would definitely say he's the favorite here, despite how solid Leanock is.
Yeah, you would definitely give him the edge going into this match, and definitely someone that is going to BlizzCon almost 100% at this point with all his WCS points from doing so well in SSL and winning the cross finals. But yeah, Stats he's really coming to his own at this point, and you got to remember Zest is on his team, so. Like, there's no better way to learn than to sit next to Zest, watch his replays, ask him questions.
I think that is such a huge factor into why he's been so successful.
Yeah.
I think that's by far the main factor. Not to take anything away from him. I'm very impressed with him. I think he's doing a great job. But definitely being a teammate of Zest, is only going to help if you're a Protoss player.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but stats and internet, why don't you tweet us and let us know if I'm right on this. I believe it was like way back when MLG was still around doing StarCraft stuff and whatnot. Like, I believe stats and Deer were like qualifier champs, even back then amongst all the Koreans. So like, we've seen these guys coming up for a long time, and you know, it takes years and years and years for any StarCraft pro to hit his prime and start really doing well.
Certainly, yeah. We're going to start match 1 on the map Frost. This is a best of 5. These guys have had plenty of time to prepare for this. This is one of the most important days of the whole year here in Korea for these two. So let's see what happens. Stats, obviously the favorite, but Leenock could upset this. We're going to have to find out.
All right, here we go. Map 1, Frost. It's a team kill. Do it, Tesis.
This is game number 1, Leenock versus Stats. Let's do this. I thought you had it, man. I thought you got it that time, man.
Yeah, I started thinking about something else.
In the bottom left, in the blue, our Zerg player.
KT 로스터 리노.
You're my training wheels for yelling out things about the players.
I'm your training wheels and the
You're my
playing
guards.
cards in your axle. In the upper right, in the red, one of the best Protosses out there right now.
KT 로스터 스텝.
You're my bike lock that I forgot the combination to that's just like on my bike. Like I can still ride around with it, but I have a bike lock on it all the time. It's like through the handlebar thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's just kind of there.
tasteless.
You're never going to figure it out. You're never going to get the hedge clippers. Thanks for coming down, guys. Welcome to the studio. We have a smaller audience than normal here today, but it is Code A. We're still very early on. I guess it's day 2 now of the new season. So we still got many more days. How many days is it in a Code A and a Code S put together? What is that?
In Code A and Code S put together, Code S is generally 17 days.
17 days, and
Code A is, I believe it's going to be 8.
Right?
Yeah, I believe so.
It has to be an even number, right?
No, why would it have to be an even number? That's like crazy.
It's in the rule book. Oh, well, I guess if we have 3 players playing each day, or 3 best of 5s as well.
But sometimes we have like a 4th one. I think this time it's only 3s.
You might be right.
Yeah.
So anyways, very early on here in the season. We got Gateway and Cybernetics Core coming down here.
Has to be even. You're so funny.
Well, no, I mean, think about it. I mean, for most cases, I guess if it's not bracketed, you would assume so. But
yeah, no, I
totally
see what you're saying. It's just
so.
like I could see Mr. Che like listening to the cast, and he just like changes the schedule. We just have like one best of 5 one day now, and
just to throw it off.
To mess it up.
So let's talk about this map. This map's pretty interesting. The base that Zerg is taking, the 3rd base out here, it's kind of at an oddball location. It might not play as much of a role because it's cross spots here, but it is pretty far out. Once you take your 4th base on this map, it's kind of tricky for Zerg to take the 5th. So late game on this map can be pretty interesting. We'll see if Protoss decides to exploit that or not. Protoss doesn't have to do that. Protoss might try to go for some kind of aggressive timing here. We're going to see.
Well, he's definitely going to go for that aggressive timing you're talking about, Tasis, with a very fast Twilight Council.
Yeah.
This is almost certainly going to be an Adept all-in, but it could be Blink base. It could even be Dark Templar, but that's getting crazy.
Yeah, let's see what he decides to do up here. We do have the watchtowers under control right now by Zerg. Going to try to be spotting for any movement coming out here from Protoss. Stats is going to go ahead and make his Adepts more powerful down the road.
Yeah. With that Glaives on the way, most certainly he's going to be doing a massive Adept all-in, but with Overlord speed coming up for Leenock, he's going to be able to scout that pretty easily, you know? And I mean,
sure,
throw down a Roach Ward, and suddenly this attack, not as promising.
Okay, he's going to poke in now with these Adepts, and he's actually going to let that Shade in there. And we don't see any Lings immediately over here, so this is actually going to do a lot of damage. I got to say, I'm a little bit surprised that Leenock didn't have these Lings back at home.
Yeah, they went all the way over and looked at the wall and was like, oh yeah, Protoss has a wall. Okay, we can't get in there.
This is pretty par for the course for Protoss to do this, but normally Zergs are a little bit better at actually holding it off.
Well, you know...
and in fact, let's see if he actually manages to shade into the main here. He does.
I think what Leenock was doing was setting up for slowing down the taking of a 3rd base. And unfortunately for him, you know, Stats had already chosen to do a 2-base all-in, which Leenock has now scouted, but definitely had his Lings way out of position against those 2 Adepts.
He lost 8 drones. That's no
pretty bad,
number to sneeze at. So He's gonna be taking his third base stats is over here in the upper right, just not far from the main base that we have a shot of here now, to the left of that. And let's see. It looks like he can kind of do two things at once. Because he did that damage early, he can start putting pressure on here, putting Lenok, on the back foot, on the defense, while taking that base. And this is in part because of the damage that was done there and that initial attack. And
if he had done 0 there and just like lost the Adepts, let's say, then he would be in a kind of bad spot. But here he is taking a third base, continuing to put pressure on.
And he's actually still killing more drones. There's 2 dead drones so far, but there's going to be a lot more because 2 more of these Adepts shaded into the main here. And in fact, he might even be able to save that third Adept that's over there elsewhere. Now he's going to get 1 here. I think this one should have enough time. Oh. Yes, it does. It shades over here. So what? That's 7 drones. 7 plus 8 now for drone kills.
15.
15. Look at you doing math.
I have
on
a
TV.
Calculator on the table.
That's
I have my TI-85.
He got his
here.
Casio watch out here that he can do all the addition he needs to on TV. Actually getting a queen. Okay, so already this game is just going very poorly for Lenok. This is actually like almost an unacceptable amount of damage.
He's basically like dying to 2 Adepts and then 3 Adepts.
The thing is, this was actually, it looked like it was going to be super aggressive, but it seems like Stats went very middle of the road with this, enough to do damage to harass, but not enough to kill the Zerg. And this is going to put Stats head doubly so.
I think this is like showing a lot of flexibility that Stats has with this strategy. Like, normally when you see the Twilight so early, it is going to be an all-in, but here he's like, okay, Lenok, you're out of position 1 time, and here's endless damage from light harassment while I take a third base. Like, the amount that Stats is ahead cannot be overstated at this moment.
Yeah, he is going to lose these Adepts, but I mean, the real issue is, how behind is Zerg, and what can Zerg do to try to recuperate? And I'm not sure there's a lot. We see the attacks have ended, but by now, oh, excuse me, they have not ended. He actually has 3 more Adepts coming here. But, I mean, at this point in time, my question is, how does Zerg actually come back and attack? And, I feel like we're in the movie Groundhog's Day here because the same thing just keeps happening over and over as this guy is just continuing to, I mean, look, he's not killing drones right now, but he is stopping them from mining. This is just getting worse and worse. Okay, so it looks like Lenok wants to actually use Banelings to try to kill workers up here. Now, he might be able to balance this out pretty quickly, but it'd have to take a really good connection in the attack. We're going to see that in a second here. Okay.
He has to kill so many probes that it's madness.
Here we go.
Well, we'll see if Stats moves quick enough here. He is
going to get bombed over here. He's just like not even with his screen over there.
Well, he moves some. Does kill 16. Now, here's the real problem. Like, yes, he killed 16, but killing 16 now versus 16 earlier?
Yes.
16 earlier is a lot more powerful.
Exactly, because he's already mined enough resources in this amount of time.
Look, he already has his production up. All he needs to do is produce units. That's what he needs money for. So this just is not nearly as painful as what happened to Lenok. So he is not caught up, guys.
No. I mean, it might look even on kills, but what Artosis said is totally correct. Let's see if he gets a good connection up here. Okay, 2 more kills. But yeah, the workers already mined enough that, I mean, this is paying out hugely. Of course, if it's 3-base Protoss versus 3-base Zerg, if that goes on for much longer, is just always at a disadvantage. Zerg always wants to be 1 expansion up. They need to have a higher economy coming in here. And I think, why not here from Stats? He's going to go ahead and do a bigger attack, one that very well could end the game.
Yeah.
And this puts Lenok in a bit of a conundrum because he can't expand while this is happening. He's going to lose. He might be able to hold this off, but he's still not getting a third base. So I think Stats is playing this he's playing a really clean, solid game.
He is. And everything's working out really well for him. But there's still a chance here for Lenok. He does have a couple drop overlords here. He has speed for his Banelings. He has +1 melee. If he gets good connections, he can still win this game. Stats has put all of his eggs into this Sentry Stalker basket.
Well, it looks like he's going to go around here from the button. No, excuse me, he's going to warp in over here. Now, let's see how the defense is now. Now, it's going to be the drop. Did he have Blink, Artosis?
Yeah,
he's got Blink, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that's a lot of energy he just forced out of him, and I love how Lenok immediately walked away. He still has his drops ready. Like, if he baits out that many force fields again, something could go well for him.
Big counter attack here. Now, we could have some warp-ins here for Stats to try to defend this. Let's see how well he can hold this off. Also, keep in mind, that's units that are not going to be helping to defend over here.
Oh, yeah, that's going to make it very tough. The Baneling's rolling in, and he turns around the second that force fields go down. Notice he has lead overlords to suck up hits there in front of the drop overlords. Good tactics here by Lenok, but he may have taken too much damage early on.
Okay, let's see if he can drop on top of this army. Now, if he's... Okay, that's what you want to do. He blinks away.
Great spreading here by Stats as well. And look at this. He's backed it up with Adepts, which against Ling Bane is the perfect
GG.
warping
There it is,
unit.
GG.
Wow.
Game 1. Stats win. That was pretty brutal, actually. I mean, Stats did like a, a lot of builds that we see, it's like, oh my God, he's playing so defensive, or oh man, he's so aggressive, but he just kind of was doing it all back there.
Yeah.
And it was really clean. It was really nicely executed. I definitely feel like Stats is outclassed here. Again, it's a best of 5 with our Protoss player Stats up in a 1-0 lead, but I think this definitely could be a 3-0 unless Stats can really step it up. Or, excuse me, Leanock can really step it up.
I mean, you're quite right. Like, Stats just kind of showed better play there, but I think Leanock also got caught off guard. I think that, Leanock is always a threat to take any series. He's kind of got it within him. What was that great quote? I think MMA said, like, class is, like, permanent, level is temporary or something like that. It just has to do with, like, Leanock.
I no idea what you're talking about.
I'm butchering the quote, but it has to do with, like, if you are like a world-class player, you are a world-class player. You just might not be in shape at the moment. And that could be the case for Leanock, but I think he got caught off guard by the fact that Stats was not taking a quick third like a normal Protoss would on this
It
map.
was a different way to play for sure.
Yeah, so his Lings were out of position.
All right, guys, we are going into game number 2. Stats with a 1-0 lead versus Leanock. In the upper left, in the blue, down 1 game.
KT 로스터 리노.
And in the bottom right, in the red.
KT 로스터 스택.
I don't know if we've seen games from Stats that really looked quite like that.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if Leanock has actually played a game that looked quite like that. Welcome to the studio, guys. Thanks for coming down here.
They don't have earbuds.
They can't hear me. I have to say that really loudly so they can hear it through the studio.
Just throw a banana at one of them. Hit him with a hot 6K in the back of the head.
They can get headsets if they want.
That's right.
As long as they don't steal it on the way out. We had a problem with that when the studio just opened. I think we take collateral for that now.
Yeah, certainly.
Right. We take your passports. If you do take the audio thing, you can just never leave the country. But maybe, hey, that's what you want to do anyways.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's legal at all for either side. Theft both ways. But anyways, taking a look, it looks like a double hatchery before any sort of pool or gas here from Leanock. So just playing a little bit greedy. Nothing too out of the ordinary, though. And I do think we are in for a better game. When you lose to the first 2 Adepts of a Protoss, 8 drones, and you have Speedlings across the map trying to deny a third base, like, that's a losing proposition every time at this level.
Yeah.
To come back is going to be the amazing game of the night, right? Or the amazing blunder by Stats, who is definitely too good for that. So definitely looking forward to a much better game coming out here.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty one-sided game. I mean, he basically, Leanock was getting a beating early on, and Stats just kept a steady lead. And then he kind of closed it out in what was a pretty straightforward attack. Now, so far, what Stats is doing, he's getting the Adepts out here. Now, we did see Leanock not really seem to be ready for, like, the first engagement, which was a little bit weird, okay? Mm-hmm. That's a little bit peculiar because, especially in the start of a game, the pro gamers usually have it down to a T.
Yeah.
So let's see how he does in this time around. Now, Stats is deviating from the previous build. He's going to be going for air here, getting that Stargate.
Yeah, this is going to be more normal, and I think Leanock is going to fare better against this, right? He sees 1 Scout Adept as opposed to 2 killing all his drones right now. He is going to have his speed on the way already. And with that Stargate coming up, we'll see if Leanock scouts that. He isn't really mining. Well, I mean, he's mining gas pretty well, actually. So maybe going right into that Overlord speed.
Yeah, I think you might be right. We have an Oracle coming out here for Stats. Going to be coming in here trying to get a little bit of harass done. Now he's forcing Leanock to cover multiple locations at once. He may even cancel that shade. We'll see. Wow, okay, let's 1 go in there. I think that was, down here at the natural.
Okay, well, at least he's controlling the flow of those Lings and getting great scouting done during this as well. Those shades getting a lot of vision. And look at that, 4 drones. I mean, this is...
He's only lost 1 Adept. He's only lost 1.
Stats is very, very good at this. I like how he split up the Adepts. Like, he sacrificed that first Adept on purpose so that he could prevent all of the mining at the third, get some extra drones. And look, he sacrifices this one to check exactly what's going on, which isn't a whole hell of a lot right now.
That's right. We got more gateways coming down here. Here comes the Oracle. Let's see how many kills he can get with this. This can happen quite quickly.
Wow.
1 and 2, and definitely going to be 3, and even gets a 4th and a 5th. Oh, no, excuse me.
Wow.
Last second he saves that, but that's a good number of kills right away.
Dude, this is just like a macro opening from Stats, and he's done great damage. 4 kills with the Adepts, lost mining time. You know, like keeping the Lings back the entire time as well.
You know what?
And
Lennox
into
supply
5 more
block
kills.
now.
This is look at this. The Void Ray is going to clean up all the Overlords around here, add a level of protection. This is great play.
I want to highlight something that you said, Artosis, because I really like it. This is like not necessarily from Stats supposed to do so much damage, but he's doing such a good job at it. Normally you see somebody like invest doubly in aggression like this, and there's a little bit of risk involved, right? Because if you don't do damage, it doesn't work. But he's actually playing very well. He's just cleaning up everything that Zerg has in the process of kind of staying in his face.
Yeah. You know, a worst case scenario for Stats here is he gets no drone kills and just has constant scouting intel, right? And like an Oracle flying around, seeing what's going on. And if this Protoss always knows what the Zerg is doing, it becomes a lot easier for them to play. I mean, that's an obvious thing, but you have to be ready for Zerg tech. It's very explosive.
Well, it's also easier said than done. So you see Lennox trying to poke in here, decides otherwise, probably a wise decision at that. And you see Stats is going to get his 3rd base up here. So we want to watch and see, is Lennox going to take his 4th base? You know, Zerg always need to be a little bit ahead here.
Yeah, he's getting, you know, Roach Speed and a Hydralisk Den, so kind of like an older, a little bit more dated way to go about this right now.
I always feel like Lennox actually played a little bit more of a dated style, no matter what period of StarCraft he was in. He was never doing, like, the new strat. It was always, like, not anachronistic or anything like that, but definitely, you know, it's been tried and tested, and he tends to do it better than other players.
Yeah, and that has kind of been his way of things, right? Like, the thing is, he's very good at it, so I don't want to be too judgy, but this is this type of style. Like, if we just see 2 Robo Immortals being pumped out against, like, someone that's making Roach Hydra, it's not going to go so well for you. And, like, the days of Roach, Ravager, Lurker, Hydra pushes are, like, that doesn't really happen that much anymore. And, you know, that's because the Immortals are just so powerful and so popular against them.
Okay, the gases are finishing up over here. And we're really going to see the beef come in here for Stats. He's going to end up with a much larger army. And this is where Protoss has the option to not just try to push out and harass the opponent, but actually start to really put pressure on and threaten the bases. So in the top center, exactly in the north spot, we see Zerg taking that 4th base. I don't know if that's going to be a point of tension or not, but there's definitely going to be a 3-base push coming out here. We know that because Protoss is making a Warp Prism on the production tab. Usually an indicator that right around when that thing comes out, you don't normally make a Warp Prism and then leave it at home for a little bit, you know, so you can warp in wherever you want. But we are going to see where he's going to attack and how effective that's going to be. But I am a little bit concerned that this game may look a lot like game number 2, where Stats is just bigger, faster, stronger, you know, once we get close to the 10-minute marker, and the other player just can't really do as much. And, and excuse me, he's not going to push. He's just going to go for a little bit of harassment here with the Warp Prism instead.
I like this. I like this for right now, I have to say, just because, you know, with this type of, like, Roach Hydra type army, it gets very strong very quickly and then peters off as you get higher supplies. So if Stats can just secure a bunch of Immortals and get a couple more upgrades here, he's going to be much more, you know, well-equipped to actually fight against the type of army that Lennox making. Roaches don't go well into the late game. Like, if you're maxed out and you have Roaches in your army and your opponent doesn't, he probably has a better army. So I like that he's just kind of like keeping him back, harassing a little bit, but that means that Lennox is going to have time to get Lurkers out, and that's where it can get very messy for Protoss.
Okay, so Protoss still beginning to build up now. Now, if you look at the supplies here, Zerg is in a lead here, and we do see a lot of games where right around now Zerg can start trying to put pressure on. The Zerg nearing maxing out at 200 supply. Protoss at about 160.
This attack coming in right now. We do have some Ravagers on the way. That Lurker Den is almost done. He's actually got some Roaches split on the other side, but Stats is ready in both locations.
Yeah, you know, it looks like Stats just had his army set up in the right position. Leenock engaged there and then immediately realized this is a bad idea and decided to back out. And I think basically Stats not losing anything there.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, not a large amount, but a decent amount was actually shaved off there by Leenock. I don't know if that was an advisable point to attack in the game. I don't know, based off the damage that Stats did early on, if it was actually wise for him to do that. And Stats is actually beginning to push out. He's going to chase this army. Now, this is not a nimble Zerg army, so he's going to suffer a lot of losses. A lot of things are going to get gunned down in the process of this. Leenock is setting up a counterattack on the right side of the map.
Yeah, but can he hold on at home? I haven't seen any Lurkers actually morphed yet. Lurkers would be able to hold against this, absolutely, but
yeah, I don't see anything
with the
either.
counterattack going down and the fact that he's just got like a small army defending, I don't know how well this is going to do. And look at that, a lot of photon overcharges, some Immortals as well. I don't think this Roach army is going to do that much.
Okay, there it is. GG.
Yeah.
Stats is just better so far in this series. I mean,
well, it's a very dated way that Leenock played that. Like,
yeah,
Roach, Hydra with some Ravagers. He made the Lurker Den, never made a Lurker, was going into a Spire. It was like, he's like, all right, here's my layer army. And it's like, well, I mean, if your opponent has 2 robotics and he's making Immortals, that beats that. Immortals plus other gateway units will beat anything that has a bunch of Roaches in it.
It seems like Stats is just ahead of the curve in the meta understanding of the game, the way that, you know, the modern way to play StarCraft 2. And Leenock, these strategies they used to work, but eventually Protoss players, they figured out how to play around it. And yeah, I mean, we even saw it, you know, that was a pretty big attack coming from Leenock. I think most players should be scared of it, but guess what? It cannot run away. You make a mistake, and then Stats comes, it's coming at you like a panther. He
had so much scouting intel too. Like, remember how long the Oracle flew around for, and then he had a Prism Planner? Like, he saw what units were there.
I don't know if Leenock's getting behind early on and doesn't know what to do, so it's just making an army and trying to attack with it and crossing his fingers. Anyways, guys, map number 3 is Kim Sejong Station. Stats up with a 2-0 lead. Let's see if Leenock can turn this around. In the upper left, in the blue, our Zerg player, he needs to get a comeback here.
KT 로스터 리노.
And in the bottom right, in the red.
KT 로스터 스탯.
So, Artosis, so far, it's been exactly what I feared, is that Stats was going to dominate in the series.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, Leenock isn't really doing much of anything.
No, he's not.
That impressive. Welcome to the studio. Thanks for coming down. By the way, for those of you guys watching at home, you're always welcome to come to our studio and watch this live. We have a smaller audience than normal here. We're early on in Code A, trying to figure out who's going to be seeded into the Code S tournament.
Yeah, not as many big names in Code A. A lot of those big names just get deep and have that seed into Code S. But Stats definitely amongst them, and Leenock, an old fan favorite, but unfortunately not doing very well tonight.
You guys too, thank you for coming down.
It's a good frown. That's a solid frown right there.
That's a good frown. Yeah, that was quite good. So, we got to see.
It's good to have an emotive face.
You got quite an emotive face.
Yeah. When I meet these people that can't blink one eye, I just feel bad. I'm like, what? Like, what did you do as a child? Did you only play with G.I. Joes? Like, come on.
You can, like, do where you raise one eyebrow and the other one.
My eyebrows can do a belly dance for you if you want.
That's right. A lot of people can't do that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I got the gift, though, man. That's why we're here. That was part of the interview.
You know what? We worked hard at this. We grinded out. It took us 10,000 hours each, but...
Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, it's a couple gates here for Stats, so we definitely should have some adept pressure coming out immediately against Leenock, which he has not fared well against so far.
Yeah, it seems like as long as Stats makes these early units, there's going to be casualties for Leenock.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like Stats just looks like he's in better shape. If you watch the way he moves his army and moves the individual units, he just does like a better job.
His Protoss army has a 6-pack right now, whereas Leenox Roach is a little bit of a beer belly going on.
His army definitely does not skip leg day here.
No.
So he's going to go for a Stargate behind this.
Every time he attacks, he's getting gains tasteless. It's crazy.
That's right.
But I mean, he's in great shape right now. You'd expect him to actually even go far in this GSL and SSL season, do well in Pro League.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of stats, not just this year, but next year. Well, we've already seen enough of stats to count it as a lot and have a successful year, but I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. He definitely seems to be on the cutting edge of how to approach the Protoss race in the current iteration of Legacy of the Void.
Well, right now we do have Leenox doing something he didn't do last game, which is Overlord speed. Did do it game 1, though, and this is going to let him know basically what he needs to know. Okay, there's 4 Adepts. Not a whole lot else going on other than an Oracle in the way.
I think this is a good choice here because it seems like Leenox is kind of getting caught off guard in every game. And maybe if he has a little bit more intel, he can have better results.
Yeah.
And he's actually going to be able to get this before it shades over there. Nicely done.
You know, Leenox is fantastically good at micro. His macro is solid. His tactics are really good in battles and stuff and like setting up for that type of thing. But so far, strategically, game 1 was a miss. I'm going to give that one to him, okay? It was like his strategy, I don't think he was expecting. Everything went wrong.
We weren't expecting it.
2,
we were seeing everything.
His strategy is something I wasn't expecting. He's like, all right, I'll make a bunch of roaches. He was even getting roach burrow and, burrow movement, like all these things. It just kind of weird. I want to see something more modern, and he's going for something more modern. Look, Evo plus Baneling Nest.
Yeah. Looks like he wants to possibly go for some drops up here.
And he did really well with the drops in game 1, right? Like, I mean, it wasn't enough to catch him up, but he killed like 16.
We got 7 worker kills so far.
Okay.
Same story.
Same story, different book.
Yeah. It's becoming a bad series.
It's called plagiarism. This is a plagiaristic build from Stats.
He just, it's every time he comes here. Now, this is a little bit different. He does the oracles, but, he's getting to the same spot in a different way. He's killing off workers. It's 10 worker kills now. And once again, Stats takes a third base, totally uncontested.
Yeah, this is going very well for him. And you know what? He's getting a void ray to clear out overlords right now, which is super important considering there's the possibility of fast Baneling drops coming up.
This is actually not just great for killing that off, but just preventing. It's a great deterrent for a player that's going to try to drop you.
If you just have it like patrolling near a mineral line and stuff, that can really mess it up.
Speaking of which, Artosis, we're about to have some drops coming up here.
Yep.
So let's see if Stats spots it. Stats has the tools to stop it, but he might not be in the right position.
Well, right now he is flying around with his oracles, kind of getting some scouting, and he finds one of them. So that one is toast, not going to work out. Very nice catch.
Now down here, we have the other Overlord, but there's a chance that he's going to send the Void Ray down there. There's not a lot of places to hide the Overlords. And again, Stats just comes in here, takes out 2 more workers, doesn't lose those oracles.
As long as he's not losing those oracles,
this whole series
value.
is sort of StarCraft 101 when you see one player better than the other. He's kind of just doing everything right. Now, let's see. This Overlord down there in the bottom center, that's going to be the real story here for Leenox, where he can get a good indicator of how the rest of this game might go. Can he come in here and get those kills?
Well, if it just gets popped and does absolutely nothing, that's a really good position for Stats. So.
Oh, absolutely. He's coming in now. We got a shot of it now. So let's see. Is Stats watching the mini-map? Is he diligent about this? Doesn't look like it. He's not moving him.
Oh, the sentry's actually coming.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know if that's the. Well, I mean, I guess you know what he would.
That was
giving
perfect.
up a sentry to kill all that is great.
Yeah, that was fine. So that was a totally
completely blocked
bunk attack there.
Now look at this, Tastes. We actually have that Spire on the way. Of course, the Baneling speed that we've all kind of grown used to.
Yeah.
He does scout the Spire.
Right.
But I think Stats wants to do an attack coming up. The thing is, with Baneling speed already up and the fact that he got charge, not glaives, it's not necessarily bad, but...
Okay.
Oftentimes what you're doing against one of these Baneling-type compositions is an Archon timing attack with charge into glaives, and you just pull your Zealots back, you let the Banelings hit the Archons, and then you warp into depths. And it's very hard for a Zergling Baneling player to stop. But if he can stop this, There's not enough anti-air to do anything against Mutas right now.
Yeah, that's very true. We also have it set up here from Lenok. He's going to actually, I can't believe he's warping that in, morphing that right there, but I guess there really is nothing to see this here.
Yeah, and Baneling Speed's about to finish. He can get like a serious set of kills with those Lings, especially if he hits them right as these are attacking in.
Oh, and he's not even watching. This could be huge. 8 kills there on those workers.
Not too bad.
These Queens are going to drive out this Void Ray. Or will it? Okay, yes it does.
You know, there are redeeming things about what's going on for Lenok right now.
Yeah.
This attack not really doing anything quite yet. Stats is setting up a 4th, but 8 Mutas on the way, and 8 Mutas can ravage the mineral lines, and in fact, can help out against this army. I don't think he can kill it straight up, but if the Banelings hit well, yeah, he can.
We'll also have to see how well, I was going to say, how will the Banelings actually connect up here, because that's going to be the big story. There's a lot of resources that have been invested into that. Good surround here by Lenok. He's pulling this army back, so he's drawing attention away from his 4th base. And he escapes there. Stats, I think, very eager to try to get back in there and poke it again. And look at this. Lenok comes right back in. Stats has to run back over here and defend, and he runs back out. Nicely done. Buying time.
Just really, really solid. He's made that army stay back. He still has, his 4th base up. I don't think he's actually mining from it.
Oh man!
But yeah, look at
this.
that.
Lenok with the air attack. Stats completely not prepared. No anti-air here.
And look at that, Ling attack here onto the 3rd. Looks like that SimCity is a little bit too strong. Does fly into the main base with these Mutas and continues to do damage. It looks like Stats wants to do a counterattack during this.
Yeah, well, I think that's all he can do. He can't run back and try to save that. His army's too slow.
Yeah, watch Archons try to run around.
Oh, no, but Lenok not watching. He's Mutalists. He's going to lose all 4. Okay, Stats is going to sack his 4th base in the hopes that he can take out the 4th base here, which he does do, and also the 3rd, I think, ideally.
Lenok Muta's not really being microed too heavily right now. He's just kind of...
Oh, my God.
It's like 400 million Banelings to kill those two.
Yeah, you don't want them connecting with that. Those are generally intended for the Zealots to take out the tanking ability there for him. Now, Stats is very close to actually cracking this base. He's got a good job of this air-ground army harassing there in the main. Both these guys hitting each other pretty hard.
Yeah, some of the Banelings do connect pretty well, but they kind of had a timer in their lives because of the Oracles. Everything just kind of not working here, but there you go. That's a good connection.
Oh, you know what? Stats might have just fallen apart.
Yeah, maybe.
Lenok might have just done it here. Stats, I think, is spread a little bit too thin here. And I'll tell you what, man, he's about to start losing too many workers. I think he was hoping to... Yeah, that's it. Okay, Lenok wins game number 3.
All right.
Nicely done.
Well done by Lenok. Really pulls it together right there.
Yeah,
I like the Spire. That was really nice. Stats made a hell of a lot of Zealots there. Kind of, he got fearful when he started hitting into the 4th base. He just kind of ran away against the Ling Bane. Didn't really have that many sentries or that many Archons to tank them. And if you lose all your Zealots of Banelings, the game is just going to end. He's just going to float Lings in you and you're going to die. But,
Well, that was a good tactical win there, strategic win.